The forest clearing was quiet, lit only by the fading orange of the evening sun. Charmander and his trainer, Mia, had been hiking all day, and now it was time for their very first campout. Excited, Mia unrolled her sleeping bag and pulled out a bag of marshmallows. "Let's make a campfire," she said with a smile. She reached for her matches, but they were soaked from crossing the stream earlier. Her smile faded. Charmander tilted his head. He'd never made a campfire before, but he had a flame of his own, didn't he? He waddled over to the pile of sticks Mia had gathered. With a focused breath, he lowered his tail and gently touched the tip of the flame to the kindling. A soft crack and then a whoosh, a perfect fire sparked to life. Mia's eyes lit up. "Charmander, you did it." They sat by the fire, roasting marshmallows and telling stories. A curious hoot-hoot watched from a nearby branch, blinking slowly. A cater pie crawled up Mia's backpack, and Charmander gently guided it down with his claw. As the stars glittered above, Charmander's flame glowed in rhythm with the firelight. He realized something important: his flame wasn't just for battling. It could help others. It could build warmth. It could bring people together. Later, Mia wrapped a blanket around them both. "You're amazing, Charmander. Today you helped us stay warm, fed, and happy." Charmander gave a little yawn, curling his tail beside the fire. That night, he fell asleep with a peaceful heart, proud of the flame he carried, not as a weapon, but as a light in the dark. Eevee stared at the 3 stones laid gently on a velvet cloth: the water stone, the fire stone, and the thunder stone. Each one sparkled with mysterious energy, each offering a new path, a new identity. Her trainer, Lila, knelt beside her. "You don't have to decide today," she said softly. "These aren't just stones, they're choices. Big ones." Eevee stepped closer, feeling the faint buzz of each stone's power. With the water stone, she saw herself diving beneath the waves as a graceful Vaporeon. With the fire stone, she imagined racing through a canyon with flames trailing behind as a fierce Flareon. And with the thunder stone, she felt the thrill of leaping through a storm, lightning crackling in the sky as a Jolteon. But then she looked at her reflection in a nearby pond. Brown fur, big ears, fluffy tail. Just Eevee. She turned back to Lila and gave a soft cry. Lila smiled and nodded. "You want to wait? That's okay." They packed up the stones and continued walking. Along the path, Eevee helped a lost Pidgey find its flock, shared berries with a shy Bunnelby, and even played tag with a playful Growlithe. By the end of the day, Eevee felt full, not just of food, but of purpose. She didn't need to evolve yet. There was so much to explore, so much to learn. Every moment brought new growth. One day, she'd choose. Maybe she'd become a Sylveon, or a Glaceon, or something she hadn't even dreamed of yet. But today, being Eevee was more than enough. In a quiet valley near Cerulean City, a group of trainers had gathered for a picnic with their baby Pokémon. Togepi, Azurill, Piku, and even a shy Smoochum all played together under the sun. Laughter filled the air, until the ground shook. Boom! Crack! A sudden landslide rumbled down the mountainside. Boulders tumbled, blocking the only path out of the valley. Panic set in. Trainers called for help. Baby Pokémon huddled together, frightened. The rocks were too heavy for anyone to move, until someone remembered, there's a Snorlax sleeping nearby. Indeed, Snorlax lay beneath a tree not far from the trail, snoring loudly, belly rising and falling like a mountain itself. Everyone tried to wake him. Loud noises. Shaking. Even a whistle from a loud red. Nothing worked. Then Munchlax stepped forward. He rummaged through his bag and pulled out a single, perfect Pokepuff, his favorite treat. Carefully, he held it up to Snorlax's nose. Sniff, sniff. Snorlax's eyes fluttered open. He sat up, towering above the crowd. His eyes locked onto the Pokepuff, and then to the wall of boulders. Without a word, he stood up, ambled over, and with an enormous yawn, lifted the rocks one by one as if they were pebbles. Within minutes, the path was clear. Cheers erupted. The baby Pokémon bounced and clapped. Munchlax offered the Pokepuff. Snorlax accepted it with a nod and a grunt, then promptly returned to his favorite spot and went right back to sleep. From that day on, the valley had a new sign. In case of emergency, please wake Snorlax, with snacks. Jigglypuff loved to perform. She carried her microphone everywhere, ready to sing at a moment's notice. But there was one problem: no one ever stayed awake to hear the end of her songs. Every time she hit the high note, her audience was already snoring. One day, while wandering near a lake, she spotted a group of Pokémon gathered in a circle. They weren't singing, they were watching a mime junior put on a silent show. With just gestures and expressions, he had them laughing, clapping, completely awake. Jigglypuff got an idea. That evening, she returned to the same spot, but left her microphone behind. The crowd looked confused. What was Jigglypuff doing without a song? She climbed onto a smooth stone and struck a pose. Then she began miming, a confused slowpoke, a dancing Ludicolo, a sneezing Spoink. She spun, leapt, and rolled dramatically as if in an invisible thunderstorm. The Pokémon watched, wide-eyed, then burst into laughter. Jigglypuff's eyes sparkled. For the first time, no one was asleep. Everyone was clapping, for her. For her creativity. For her comedy. For something entirely new. When she finished, Jigglypuff bowed deeply. The applause echoed into the night. No yawns. No snores. Just joy. That night, as the stars shimmered above, Jigglypuff hummed quietly to herself, not to perform, but just because it felt nice. She learned something that day: being a star didn't always mean being loud. Sometimes, the most powerful songs are the ones you never have to sing. Pikachu woke up to the sound of soft raindrops tapping the window of Ash's house in Pallet Town. He peeked outside: gray skies, wet ground, no sun in sight. He let out a small sigh. No playing in the field today. Ash walked in, carrying a big blue umbrella and his backpack. "You know what, buddy," he said with a grin. "Let's not let a little rain stop us." With boots splashing and umbrella twirling, the two set off. They passed a Squirtle happily swimming in a ditch, a sad little Oddish stuck under a leaf, and a flock of Pidgey huddled beneath a tree. Pikachu ran over to Oddish, using his cheeks to warm up a few dry berries from Ash's pack. The Oddish smiled and wiggled its leaves gratefully. Ash and Pikachu spent the morning helping, laughing, and exploring the rainy world. They made boats out of leaves, raced sticks down the stream, and even built a tiny dam with a passing mud kip. When the clouds began to part and a sliver of sunlight peeked through, a rainbow stretched across the sky. Pikachu climbed onto Ash's shoulder and looked around. The wet world sparkled. The grass smelled fresh. The puddles reflected the colors of the sky. Pikachu shocked a lingering raindrop off Ash's nose, and they both burst into laughter. "See?" Ash said. "Rainy days can be fun, too." Pikachu nodded. He wouldn't wish the rain away anymore, not when it brought such unexpected joy.